Welcome to a demonstration of WindowBook's multi-job freight planner. This is part of the PlanAlyzer freight planning tool that is part of that mail toolbox. I am Lloyd Moss, Vice President of Premier Client Solutions. This capability was developed to make it easier for mailers to do their freight planning based on the jobs they are planning to ship on a given day, rather than doing it one job at a time. Mailers that dropship multiple jobs in the same day but only optimize individual jobs are leaving money on the table, possibly a lot. By pooling jobs together to determine the best entry points, mailers can save money and provide their clients with better delivery service. Before I demonstrate the multi-job freight plan feature of DatMail Toolbox, we will cover in more detail why you should pool your jobs when freight planning. I will provide the requirements for doing this pooling, focusing on what you can and cannot do with the feature. I'll then show you how multi-job pooled freight planning works and cover its options. The biggest reason most mailers will pool shipments is to get the biggest bang for the buck when drop shipping. The deeper you drop mail into the U.S. Postal Service processing network, the deeper the dropship discounts you can get. But frequently, this means shipping less mail to more places. The additional freight costs can offset these postage savings. So by pooling, you can avoid the extra costs of shipping too little mail to too many entry points to do entry deep into the U.S. Postal Service network. The weight or pallet count entry point minimums many logistics companies have often makes deep entry uneconomic. Not only does pooling often overcome this problem, but by helping mailers more cost-effectively dropship deeper into the U.S. Postal Service processing network, delivery performance can be improved. This is particularly important for time-sensitive mailings trying to hit particular in-home delivery dates. When creating a pool for entry optimization, you are leaving the mail on its original pallets. You are not co-palletizing. An important point is that all of the mail associated with a dropship destination must be available for shipment on the same day. If pooled entry ends up with 5 pallets going to Omaha on Wednesday, all 5 pallets have to be produced and they must be available for transportation on that same day. Another consideration is what kind of mail can you pool together. There are 3 constraints: postal regulations, logistics provider requirements, and potential limitations as to what WindowBook's DatMail may be able to do or not do. Logistics providers charge differently based on the density of their mail. For example, flats on pallets are much heavier per cubic foot than letters on pallets. A truck would reach its maximum weight with flats or catalogs long before it is filled up by letters and trays on pallets. This means the logistics provider will charge differently for each type of mail. This requires you to pool letters, flats, and catalogs separately for now. You can mix full-service and non-full-service mail in the same pool. Again, you have to be very careful not to mix jobs that cannot be shipped together due to differences in in-home delivery dates or the dates the mail will be available to ship. After you have run your freight plan on the pool with PlanAlyzer, you can update just the entry point data or view the entry points and change their entry dates and other information like trailer numbers or fast appointment information, then update this data back to the original files. Or you can try running a different plan from a different table or use different settings options on the table you just used. Or if you don't like any of the results, you can just cancel without updating any of the original files. So much for the background information. Let's see how multi-job freight planning actually works. So let's take a look at the freight planner and see how it works when you want to do multiple jobs. So we're going to go to Toolbox. We're going to select multi-job freight planning. And then we're going to pick a couple of jobs to process. And what we're going to do is simply say process the entry plan. It's gathering the data together. In a minute, we will be able to actually start our freight planning process and make our selections. And here we are. So we can select what level we want to do our entry planning. We can then select the freight table that we want to use. And we have a lot of options here that we can also choose, but when we're done, we're just going to click on the process button. We're going to be going across all the segments and every job, and here we go. Again, in a couple of minutes, we're going to actually see our dropship savings report. This is going to show us the first a worksheet that describes what the possible entry points would be for the pool. And then it's going to look at the cost savings by entering it at a deeper level, and the postage saving and the freight costs, and come up with a final plan which represents the optimal plan. So here we are. We're going to now take a look at the freight plan report. So we're going to open it up, and let's take a look. All right, so what we're looking at is a list of NDCs on the left, and indented over to the right is a list of the SCFs within that service area. And we're looking at the fact that we could send these pieces, for example, to the NDC in 3 pallets, or we could send them to these SCFs, and we're looking at the cost and savings associated with each of these. And so this actually goes on for quite a few pages. I think I'm going to skip to the end and then work backwards to show you the beginning of the final freight plan report. And we have okay, this is the beginning of the report here. So what we're looking at is what our actual shipping costs are going to be, what the weight of the shipments is going to be, the postage savings, the number of pieces, number of pallets, and when we get to the bottom, we'll see a grand total. Now the thing here is that because we did this on the pool, the savings would be actually seen in each of these individual jobs. The other thing is that, oh, by the way, you can now generate a CSV export of the freight plan report, which you can throw into an Excel spreadsheet if you'd like to look at it in more detail. It's now going to ask you whether you're okay with this freight plan. You can say yes, and it will go back and update everything out to the original files. But we also have another thing, and that is that we have all these entry points, and you may not be shipping them all out on the same day. All right, and it's going to be important for the individual files to actually have correct ship dates. So we're actually looking at a list of the entry points we're going to, and I can go and change any individual entry point here. So let's say we change the ship date to this date. One word of warning: if you do that, watch your in-home delivery date. The in-home delivery date cannot be before the ship date. So let's make it something else. We also can update other types of dates, including the postage statement mailing date. We also can set e-induction here. There are other ways of doing that for those of you who are about to start working with e-induction. We can also, if you're doing your own transportation planning, can update trailer information and stop information. But at this point, we're just going to change the date. So all the records associated with this particular entry point have been changed to this date. Now, when I'm all done, I can click on Update and Exit, and it will apply those changes and go back. The other thing I should point out is that if you didn't like that plan, You could have actually returned to the screen where you made the the freight table selection and changed your freight plan options and done it again until you got it to a point where you felt everything was the way you want it. And then you'd go through this process. So we're now actually updating all the individual files, and we're back to the main menu. So as you can see, this is very easy to use and very flexible. Thank you for the time you took to view this video. I hope that you found it useful for understanding this important DatMail Toolbox capability that can help you save your customers lots of money and improve service performance on dropshipped mailings. If you'd like to learn more about DatMail Toolbox or have questions about this presentation, please email us at postalspecialist@windowbook.com. You may also call us toll-free at 1-800-524-0380 and schedule a personalized demonstration with your data that will show you how much money you might be leaving on the table. Thank you.